welcome everybody to the Let's Play Live Challenger League series for Rainbow Six here in Auckland City. And we're in the Sky Tower as usual, and today we are on day 8 of our Challenger League series, and we're going to be looking at some really spicy matches. We've got some great teams lined up for us tonight here at the Let's Play Live studio playing online, and we can't wait to get into it. However, we do want to go through just last week's results and how everything went with those teams there. So last week's results, we saw Baltic Esports play against Justice Esports, and for those who don't know, Baltic Esports are formerly known as Apex R6, so congratulations to them and being picked up by a new esports club. So looking forward to seeing what they can bring in the future as well here in the Rainbow Six community and scene. After that, we also have Sleeper Gaming versus Fury Australia, which ended at a 7-4 lineup over by Oregon. Including that, X-Avant versus Exto was rescheduled and played, finishing up on a 7-5 scoreline over by Coastline. And Extricity last week got a bye after doing so much hard work, got a free win, considering now that we are down one team here in the league. So, what do we have for this week's matches? This week's matches, we've got Sleeper Gaming versus Baltic Esports here tonight as our first matchup, followed by Fury Australia and X-Avant playing off stream. So we won't be seeing these two teams play tonight, but they have rescheduled it and we'll let you know what the results are next week coming through. Extricity versus Exto R6 will be playing as our second game for the night, and we can't wait to see what it brings because we haven't seen Exto or Extricity play here on stream for the Let's Play Live Challenger League series at all. Justice Esports will be getting a bye this week, so good job to those guys for all their hard work, and I hope they enjoy the week preparing for next week's matchups. Looking at the leaderboard so far, we do see Extricity still sitting at the top with a 3-0 scoreline, definitely dominating over all these other teams, although a lot of these other teams will be playing this week, obviously tonight as well, and coming close to maybe taking that throne from them, maybe bringing that scoreline about even if Extricity do lose in an upset against Exto R6. We have seen bigger upsets, and we have seen giants being slain here at the Challenger League series, so who knows what we might see tonight. Baltic Esports and X-Avant are at a 2-1 scoreline, followed along with Sleeper Gaming. This will change tonight, of course, and we'll see who really takes second place, as all three teams right now are tied up for that scoreline. Exto R6, Fury Australia, and Justice are at a 1-2 scoreline, and we will be seeing them play off later, and we will see how that fares up. OTG are at a 0-4 because they have dropped out to focus on other leagues and to do their own thing as they prepare moving on forward. Tonight's matchups, of course, we do have, like I said before, Sleeper Gaming versus Baltic Esports. These two teams have been performing out of their minds so far here at the Challenger League. Both are Giant Slayers, taking out teams like Fury and, if I remember correctly, X-Avant. Now, we're also looking at both these teams also being new organizations. We haven't seen Sleeper Gaming out in the scene for very long, and congratulations to them for also qualifying for the Six Masters qualifiers and the current brackets that are up. New organizations included Baltic Esports have a bright future ahead of them, formerly known as Apex, and we can only expect a great matchup between these two, I would say, dark horses coming out of nowhere, and we can only expect to see great things, really. Sleeper Gaming have played on Oregon a few times, and I'm not too sure if they will be picking that out going into these current matches. But right now, folks, we will be going into our first matchup here with Sleeper Gaming versus Baltic Esports in our band phase over by Villa. Villa being a map that we haven't seen very much or many times at all in any Pro League or Challenger League series, just because some teams just aren't acclimated to it. They aren't used to the size of Villa and how the rotations work. There's a lot of verticality involved as well. But first ban coming up will be Jackal. So Jackal has been banned by both teams quite a lot, along with Valkyrie, and these are all intel-based operators. Both teams like to deny that intel and be able to play freely and a little bit more carefree than most others. Second ban will be coming out, will be Sleeper Gaming's ban. It will be Blackbeard coming out for the teams banning them out. And Blackbeard is, I mean, we don't have to explain why he's being banned out. He is a very intimidating operator to face, especially with that face shield, the gun visor. I'm not too sure what else you want to call it other than its real name. I'm trying to come up with cool ideas right now. It's not working. But Voltic going out with the first ban on Jackal, followed by Sleeper with Blackbeard, will be followed up with Sleeper again on Mira. So Blackbeard and Mira being banned out. Mira, not a big surprise here. Voltic now ending up with a Maestro ban, and that's not a surprise either. So Maestro being able to control a lot of corridors does force you to think twice and waste a little bit of utility on it. Now that the changes for Maestro cameras have come in, and we can see a Twitch come into the mix to really bring down those cameras by herself, and maybe even a Thatcher to come out on that side as well. We do see Twent pick that up for him and the rest of his team. We also see that Twitch and a little bit of a IQ and Habana and a Nomad. So not much soft breaching available. Twitch could be bringing a breaching charge, maybe even Thatcher. Who knows how it's gonna play out, but IQ being swapped up for Capital is not a big surprise either. Capital has been a dominant and a pretty pervasive force in all high level matchups, just because he does provide a lot of utility and controls a lot of sites. He can actually deny a lot of entry and space. Coming into the next season, I could be hoping, I mean I am hoping for a Gridlock to come in and maybe replace him in that aspect, but I'm not too sure how that's going to really play out as we are looking forward into these upcoming matchups. So looking at it now, it does look like Baltic will be setting up their map, and we will be starting over by the kitchen area, and then this site requires a little bit of vertical control, if not a lot of vertical control, just because the attacking team can attack from the pantry and the basement downstairs. Interesting placements of the echo cameras. We don't see that very often, but the default plant site will be controlled and maybe policed the Valkyrie upstairs. I mean, so castle barricades upstairs do mean that they are controlling it. We do see Molosca and Twent trying to get into that site. Cloud's just double checking for any corners and if anyone's hugging around those areas, but they have moved in quite easily into the bedroom. Master bedroom now having the control, not too sure what they were trying to go for with that castle barricade, giving up that site so easily. I feel like they're giving it up a little too quickly. They should be contesting it a little bit more, but the diffuser is still outside by the bicycle area, library section. Already with angles heading in, Sek does pick up a nice kill onto Molosca, so Molosca being taken down there by Sek is another win. An easy win for Voltic so far. Capital being taken off so early is not exactly what you want. He does have that LMG for that suppressive fire, and he does have the asphyxiating bolts and the smoke bolts as well, with a very swift kill from President onto Ghoul. Does look like, sorry, I need shabs. Inside jokes if anyone got that, but with him going down, a couple of shots to go out, he's quite confident as he moves through. President picking up one kill extra for himself as well, supported by Cloud. BB does go down along with him, and it does look like Sleeper Gaming are already so confident moving into the site, even though they do lose their main support. Josh is controlling that upstairs, and he does have quite a few air jabs down, I do believe, while Smacker is trying to hold and stay alive as well as he can with the RNG-11. The MP5 SD is going to be able to provide quite an interesting long angle with a very linear space for angles over through. Sorry, I'm losing my words right now, but it does look like they are having a little bit of a tough time getting into that site. They do have that vertical control and they do have control all over, but they haven't really been able to find a safe method of pushing in without too much contesting. Looks like they are going through. Twet picks up a kill onto Ethics and does leave Smacker all by himself. Now 1v4, 1v3 with one down. The SMG-11 does miss the first time. The pings come out and will he be able to pick up that second kill? Throws a couple of quick peeks around, but he might have to rotate, but it does look like he's stuck over by the pantry. With a dominating angle like this, President might be able to pick up the kill, and yes, he will. Attackers win round 1. Sleeper Gaming take that for themselves. Very clean attack coming from Sleeper. They crossed their T's and dotted their I's. I say that every week. I'm gonna find a new way to say that. But what we do see is that Sleeper Gaming really did check off the itinerary, and they did a very thorough search of the map. They not only came from the main floor, moving into the second, clearing out the astronomy. I feel like they really covered all sides, especially since the Capital coming through did work out kinda. Malaska going down a little early wasn't the best for them, but it did provide a little bit of information. Still a loss nonetheless, however. We're seeing Kaid come into the mix for Voltic as well, so maybe this might change things up as they do shift sites completely. Going over to the Aviator room, they decided that, you know what, that just wasn't the site for us, we're not ready for it. This is the site that most people default to regularly as their first site. The reason for that, obviously, is because it's easy control. And I feel like sometimes attacking from the balcony can be a bit too predictable and a bit too easy to read as they move through. And it really puts it down to the defenders or the attackers to really make sure they attack from the 90-degree angle over from bedrooms and making sure that everything does manage to get through with that. Ghoul playing now on Legion instead of the Jaeger is an interesting choice. Without a Jaeger, feel like the attackers might have a bit of too much of an easy push. Although, I mean, Twent on the EMP should be able to push through quite simply. Take out those ADS. And defenders would have to actually worry about grenades now. Cloud does push through, and we haven't seen Cloud very often. So seeing him come through is proving to be quite interesting, as he has proven so far just from one round that he is valuable, being able to crossfire and cover for his teammates. Josh now moving all the way into the master bedroom along with the rest of his teammates as they push through and clear out the entire top floor. I don't know if they have too much or any control over the bottom floor, so if there's a roamer downstairs, they are going to be in a bit of a trouble, bit of a pickle. Claymores going down now as well, and for those who don't know, Claymores are live in customs along with shields and clash. So not too much of a disruption for the current meta over in the more professional leagues. It does allow the teams to maneuver and play as they should without adjusting too much or changing too many things. President does throw a couple of pre-fire shots out there to test the water to see if anyone walks into his aim and line of sight. More air jabs are going out, making sure people don't try to sneak up on them. And it does look like Malaska will be doing what she does best. What IQ does best. Sorry, Malaska. As they push through, does look like they are trying to establish control. They do have control over the entire north side, and that's exactly what we were talking about before. One does go down, Smagger does pick up Twent, but with its line of sight all the way into the vault, it does look like they have a pretty interesting position. Not too sure if they want to place a Claymore on that position particularly. I would have put it over by the stairs behind them, but we'll leave it to them and their calls. They are the ones playing after all. Twitch Drone does go out with control over by the office, and they are pushing through. A couple of pre-fires will go out here, and does look like they are trying to hold those angles as they push through. He does peek his head out, and there we go. Cloud pick up a nice kill on the smacker, while Ghoul refrags onto Cloud. Does look like President is trying to duel another member over by the bar area, but we're not too sure how long that's gonna last or who's gonna come up on top of this. Checking the corner behind the vault door. Flashbang just barely leaving with his life. Does throw it out, doesn't quite get the Echo Drone. The Yokai still alive. Maybe picks up from that kill right there, but it does look like Josh picks up a nice... Oh, Malaska with a push, with a white peak right in. They are going to be getting that plant down over by the Aviator room as they throw out more smoke. He's sticking to the plant though. He's going to tank a lot of that damage. Does look like he will have to bail just now, realizing that there is more, and he pushes right through to the vault. BB picking up a kill prone on the floor. Voltic Esports win that out, forcing Sleeper to actually play very aggressively and out of their comfort zone. A bit more of a successful run here coming up from Voltic Esports, now finding their pace and tempo. and disrupting Sleeper's tempo in how they attack and how they play. So an even matchup so far does prove to me and maybe the viewers back at home watching here on the Let's Play Live channel or the Rainbow Six ANZ channel that Sleeper and Voltic are definitely head to head and even in their matchup and lineup. So hopefully we see more action come through, but with a very similar lineup right now coming from both teams, and just one swap from Sleeper over onto the Thermite instead of the Habana is going to be an interesting pick. Not too sure what they're trying to achieve on a site like Kitchen, but they were most likely thinking it was going to be upstairs in Trophy. So if they're going back to Kitchen, I hope they actually bring a little bit more presence over the master bedroom. If they're going to barricade up the closet and the bathroom, I hope they control that a little bit better, just so that they don't give it up so much. I thought they would actually have had a little bit more presence upstairs, but they kind of gave it away, and they decided to fall back and maybe catch them on roams. They had one successful kill over onto Moloska playing the Capitao, but it didn't last very long. But now seeing Alibi on her home turf here on Villa. Interested to see what the Italian operator will bring for us. And we've seen Alibi play quite a lot actually. We've seen her bring a lot of second guessing from the attackers. And a lot of not a lot of high level Alibi trickery, I would say. But definitely one of the better guns on the defending side with a high fire rate and almost non-existent recoil. She is going to be able to provide a lot of information with shots like that. And half the time, you're going to have to test these shots. You're going to have to test these shots half the time because you don't want to take a gamble whether or not that clone is real. However, they will spot out a couple of those guns, and they do notice that two are in astronomy holding those angles. Don't know if they want to contest that like that just yet, but he will push through, ignores the one behind the desk, and maybe he didn't see that. With a quick refrag coming up from, was it Cloud? No, Josh. They will clear it out. Voltic pick up a nice 3 kills though. Twent picking up one more as well with Josh. Both teams now down to 2 members on both sides. A little bit more droning coming out from the attackers as they push through, but it does look like the Yokais will be able to provide a little bit more information, and Smacker will be able to just hold it down for as long as possible. We're actually seeing Mute actually play with the SMG-11 a lot more since he got it as well. Now that teams aren't forced to bring in the smoke as much as his SAS counterpart, his brother in defense. But he does push through. He does have 2 more EMP grenades, and he will be able to maybe disable those yokai drones momentarily. Peaks 1 does live with his life, even though he did move off that. Josh picks up 1 on FX. Smacker's all by himself yet again. Does have the C4 handy, and he knows exactly where the 2 are. Will he pick up the kills though? Peeks wide. Doesn't get the kill just yet. Does get a couple of shots through that wall and announces his positioning to the enemy. He's kind of cornered at this moment without many spaces to move through, and he won't be able to get that kill or deny unless he gets a C4 kill. The C4 goes over and picks up Josh. Smacker now in a 1v2 situation with a disruptor over him. They won't be able to drone him out too well at all, maybe from a long angle, but it does look like Twent, without picking up that diffuser, won't have too much of trouble just yet. Shoots out the yokai drone, does put the diffuser down, and will be able to get away with it. 5 seconds, 3 seconds left, and it does look like he will be able to successfully plant the diffuser and move over through pantry stairs. Smacker a little bit unsure of what that positioning is or where they are. I'm not too sure if they saw it on the drones or the yokai or not, but it does look like Twent with a very low angle has the advantage here. He has to get through. He does vault over. He won't be able to hear that, and he now knows. He has an inkling. He has a sense and a feeling of where he is. He has to push for this kill before he gets it. And oh, he will get that kill with the SMG-11. The RNG-11 and RNGesus is with him today. Baltic Esports win another round here on Villa. Sorry guys, if I take a little break like that, it's because I gotta give my lungs a bit of a rest. Solo casting ain't easy, fam. But you know what? I am excited to see what this next round brings for us. And I'm now sure why BB has been taken off the board. Sleeper GG are the ones that banned it out, but I'm sure even if they were on defense at this point of time, BB would have been pretty hard to deal with. Voltic taking out Maestro for their attack definitely makes sense as well. I mean, for many reasons in general, these are all intel operators. BB more of an entry fragger, but I mean, he's really hard to challenge with that headshot shield and that second chance at living and getting that gunfight. So, if anything, he's got 3 chances, really. So, Ghoul will be reinforcing the bathroom. Now they are upstairs in the trophy and might be able to see a bit of a different defense coming out, even though they have defended upstairs a couple of times now. It does look like their astronomy and top hold for this site over by trophy is a little shaky. I'm not too sure how they're going to change it up. Now that they are defending upstairs, they might go for vertical C4 through the floor, downstairs over by the library, fireplace, kitchen area. We're not too sure at this point in time. But what we do know is that Bandit is on the board and he might be bandit tricking and trying to deny entry from the master bedroom. And that's going to be paramount to making sure that they don't get in too easily either. Molosco will be able to do a little bit of droning for his team, being the good support player that he is, while Thermite goes straight to side as he should. The Texan Dynamite will have to do its job and open that beautiful line of sight for his team as they push through and make sure that they get that easy plant over by the statues. It does look like that's the angle they're going for. We don't see many teams actually plant over by the trophy room itself. Clearing out the office does look like an easy push so far from the southern side of the map, pushing up north. Does look like the Southerners will be trying to get through. Well, the only Texan here moving up north does wait for that EMP to remove all this. So, oh my gosh, a little bit of a hindsight, a little bit of a twitch. Smacker will punish President for pushing up and being so confident himself without too much surveillance and thorough droning for his team. Bit of a late call, maybe, not too sure what's happening. We aren't there with them. But what this does mean that what this does mean for Sleeper GG is that they lose their only hard breacher and now they have to gunfight and force their way in. They don't have too many other ways to get in right now. They might be able to play vertically with IQ maybe catching Sek on that yokai drone on his wristwatch. They might be able to catch maybe someone on their phones downstairs vertically. Not too sure. Maybe on a rotation with that air jab, but it does look like pre-fire and trying to win gunfights with reaction time is the play right now. I think they might go for an early plant. Breach charges do go through, EMPs do go through to make sure those yokai drones aren't a problem, but it does look like Twent is going to have to stick that diffuser right now. Sek is going to be moving those drones right in, but the plant is successful and does look like Cloud picks up a nice kill prone on the floor. BB with a refrag, not a refrag, sorry, but a nice return kill onto Blaska and a refrag with a Claymore over onto Smacker. Cloud does go down to Sek. It does look like Voltic are pushing in and trying to get the diffuser in right now as the rest of Sleeper push in and one more kill from each side goes down and Sleeper get wiped out. Voltic Esports win round 4. Close and hectic final 30 seconds of that map. Being forced and being taken out, it really came down to taking out that Thermite and forcing them to really push and rush. I don't think they had to rush. They had a little bit of time left on them to maybe pick a kill. But that, in that sense as well, that's also still gambling with what you have to deal with. And maybe in hindsight for me, that was still the best choice available to them. Close match. Close round from Sleeper Gaming and Voltic Esports. They almost lost that, to be honest. I honestly thought Sleeper had that. But moving in, will BB stick to the Cavero or actually move off into someone else? It does look like he will be locking in that alibi. So nothing too wild just this time around. Although I would have liked the Cavera. It does look like Cavera is an operator we do see quite a bit in the Challenger League, not in the Pro League at all. For many reasons, of course. But nonetheless, has been able to change quite a bit. standard reinforcements coming up from Voltic right now over by the Aviator and Games Room, and it does look like nothing too strange is happening just yet. But one wall is soft, and the rest of the team will be pushing through and trying to get and maybe provide a little bit more all-floor presence. Ghoul is over by the master bedroom, probably putting down a couple of Legion glue mines and a couple of barricades to provide a little bit more sound cues for the defending team. So barbed wire is going down all over that classical hall, and I'm not too sure if that's going to matter too much as they do push through, and it looks like they're going through for a master bedroom push, clearing out the entire floor first. So quite thorough, quite fair so far. And Sleeper Gaming making sure that they don't get too rushed with this one as well, hopefully staying a little bit more alive. And President now switching over onto the Thatcher instead might be able to, might allow Twent to pop off a little bit more on that glass. So a little bit of a roll swap from the team so far, and Sleeper are just trying to push it out a little bit. One more kill from Velascon to smack it as he gets a little bit too aggressive. He is playing the dock, and he had all the right to feel quite confident in that push as well, but he will be punished for it, and his confidence was, I suppose, for naught. Air jab does go down from that door. Does look like the bar door will be now a little bit safer to deal with, as maybe they also cut off the red stairs. Barbed wire being taken out there, and does look like the air jab is down, but in a pretty obvious spot. I'm not too sure if they can actually take that out just yet, but it does look like a couple of flashbangs will go through the vault, allowing Sleeper to maybe do something sneaky, but I'm not sure if they're capitalizing on this just as much as they should. Twent being the one to drone is an interesting choice. You would think Thatcher would be the one to be actually doing this, or maybe Velasco, but he will actually be the one to rotate around and bring in the flank over from the other room. Now with smoke in, they will push and they will try to get this while Twent holds that hard angle. Smoke does come out, and Toxic Babe will be doing a little bit of damage. He will stick it, but he will be down, and they won't be able to get that plant. Affix picks up the kill on the President, and now they're one member down and getting a little bit too confident with that plant timer. BB being the only one, Sec being the only one left will be taken out, and Sleeper Gaming win through frags and great operator efficiency alone. Great synergy with operator efficiency, positioning, and timing. So the flank from Alaska over from the office and the fireplace, from the balcony over into the games room for a double push on those two different angles was very valuable, and it did provide Twent a lot of reaction time and a lot of information, being able to hold through the smoke as well. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to tell the Toxic Babe difference with the smoke, and they got a little bit too confident with that plant, but it didn't matter too much as Voltic Esports started to scatter and scamper a little bit, being held down and being anchored over by the vault. I would have actually liked to see the vault door, the soft wall by the vault actually being opened up, and maybe a little bit more control over the 90 degree hall. There is quite a lot of cover there, and that does allow the teams to play a little bit more aggressively. If they put down maybe two members over there just to defend, it can be a little bit hairy, but with a rotation back into the vault, it could be maybe just a high level, high skill play that requires a lot of coordination. But now with another kitchen defense on their last round on the defense, Voltic Esports are trying to get in a solid win and maybe bring this scoreline a little bit further, bringing the scoreline to maybe 2 and up, doubling the win so far for Sleeper GG. But don't sleep on Sleeper GG, as I tell you, they've brought in some crazy turnarounds. So have Voltic Esports, formerly known as Apex, and we've seen them bring in some crazy stuff as well. So don't leave them out just yet, and surely we'll see a very interesting game coming up. But it does look like Voltic are pushing up and pretty dominant in... Well, okay, not dominant. I say that quite loosely. But the truth is, they are neck to neck. I'll save my final decision for the end of the matchup, but for now, we are quite convinced that Voltic Esports are a fantastic defense team. Sek picking up a nice kill over to Malaska with the UMP-45. Both very slow-firing guns, but the UMP-45 firing a little bit faster. The SMG-11 would have been a little bit better in that position there, but it looks like Josh will be throwing a little bit more firepower out there. Unsure of exactly where he is. The flashbangs do go out, and Habana does have the advantage here, but he doesn't quite peek the right angle. It does look like Josh picks up second return. Ghoul also going down to Twent, and Affix over for Twent as well. So a nice little refrag, but Josh is all alone, 1-3 versus Voltic, and he's peeking, and oh my gosh, the air jump in just the nick of time. He peeks over through, and he might be able to pick another kill for himself. Pre-firing left and right. Oh, he tagged him just a little bit through the wall bang as well, but he won't be able to pick it up just yet. Pushing through, he's unaware of where the other members are just yet. One right behind him sees him, and oh man, he's waiting for him. And there we go, Voltic Esports pick up another defense win. The roaming dock, and I say this time and time again, the roaming heavies are the ones you don't expect. But you can see how he reacted to that last kill. That, you know, he was calm. He knew his team's coordinated quite well, and they knew where he was. They had not an inkling. They were quite decisive, and they were confident they could get it. He heard him pull his phone out. Stop texting. Stop texting and make sure you focus on the game. But he was doing a little joining for himself, and he was right to do so. But Voltic, being quite confident, be able to pick up that kill quite easily, if anything. BB on that glass now, bringing in as well. Seeing a similar lineup from both sides, but now seeing Cloud on that Valkyrie, an operator that both teams usually ban on any map regardless. But if anything, now playing on Villa, a map that we don't really see at all, it's turning out to be quite an interesting matchup as well. So, not too sure if they're leaving that wall soft on purpose, but they will be trying to defend upstairs by Aviator Room as their first choice. A couple of barricades going up by the bathroom, and the showers as well will be able to provide a little bit more information and a little bit more defense. So hopefully they defend by that side as well and don't allow such a clean and easy sweep of the top floor. Giving up control as easy as Voltic did for some of the sites might not be ideal in most cases. We do see a lot of pro teams and a lot of high-level teams like these two actually deny a lot of entry as much as possible. In fact, we haven't seen too much spawn peeking or too many angles facing from the inside out, but we are seeing Smacker actually playing Buck, an operator we're seeing for the first time here tonight. So for a site like Trophy, this is prime. I myself like to play the Buck over downstairs through Workshop and Piano. Does provide a lot of control, especially if there's a mirror window. Not this time, of course, but I mean, does force the defenders to get flushed out, especially if you already got and you have already established control over the library and over by the red stairs. So Ghoul pushing up here. Defenders do hear him. He sprints around the corner, gets a little bit of a safe angle, and does look like they have fallen back, not ready to push that just yet. EMP does go out, takes out a couple of bandit shock wires. Does look like Smacker is still waiting for the right time to push through and waiting to flush out the enemy, from what it does seem like. Sek will be trying to cut off a little bit more line of sight. The shock wires will be going through and tricking it out. But maybe that was exactly what he was expecting. But the impact trick denies it again. So with no more X-Kairos, it does look like they will be forced to push through. They still do have the exothermic charges, and maybe that's what they brought the Habana for, to maybe bait out more sites and actually use and waste a little bit of that utility on that defense. A shotgun holding that corner quite closely does put Sek in a little bit of danger, but he is quite confident and he is prone. Maybe get a bit of a surprise and a bit of a jump. Flashbangs do go through past the wall. It does backfire a little bit, but it doesn't matter too much as it does go through. Smacker pushing through now the library. Trying to clear out just a little bit. But here we go. I'm sure he's going to be hopefully bucking through just now. But the breach will be successful, and they have a nice clear line of sight all the way through into the vault. This is going to allow them to plant just by the wall quite safely. C4 doesn't come out. Doesn't actually get anything this time around, unfortunately. So do the Toxic Babes. Doesn't deny it just in time, but that's okay. 25 seconds left on the clock. It does look like they are forced to push through just now. They don't have many options. Smoke grenade does go out, and does look like BB will be hanging around those corners. Does ping it. Smacker picks up a nice kill down onto President, and does look like BB trying to entry frag for himself. The updates haven't gone through, and he's quite present. Smacker walking right through the vault, providing a little bit too much presence. Velasca refrags on him, gets refragged onto Ghoul. The plant is going to be successful while Josh is hanging off site, pushing through all by himself. Now BB being the dominant force and the push right now. Josh picks up a nice kill onto Aphex, but will it last against the Glaz and the Thatcher? No yokai drones to provide too much information. He has, and he will be forced to push through. He goes prone, dodges a couple of more shots, pushes right through, tests the waters, and he actually knows, he has a feeling of actually where they might be. The diffuser is still live. He doesn't, oh, he misses the guns. He misses the barrel, and he will be taken out. BB with that clean kill. And a nice safe spot over by the balcony, securing the first attack for Voltic Esports. Josh almost got that. He almost had it. But unfortunately, Voltic playing quite methodically so far. Actually kind of surprised. We see them play quite dominantly in most of their games, but here, yeah, I mean, for a debut game for the organization with Voltic Esports, this is a big thing. But it's not over yet, so the Fat Lady Sings and Sleeper GG are still in the game. You're not at match point just yet, and they can bring this back. So I'm always hoping for that overtime matchup. But will we see it? We'll have to find out. Opting to go for that same defense over by the trophy. Maybe Sleeper GG might bring in a little bit more aggression. And maybe Voltic might... No, Voltic are going to do a similar strategy. That's my prediction, at least. I feel like they're going to bring a similar strategy, and they're going to bring in that same methodical play that we're so happy to see here in the Challenger League so far. So quite happy with their performance overall. And Sleeper as well, don't get me wrong. But I feel like there are times when Sleeper should be a little bit more woke and a little bit more aggressive with how they play. There were lulls and there were mistakes coming from Volt. The flashbang being a bit of a mix. What else? The breach coming through the office did take some time. There was a lot of room for a flank, maybe a cheeky C4 from below, but not actually controlling downstairs, leaving Smacker quite free to his devices. That was most likely for me where they fell off there. So Ghoul now pushing through, actually establishing a little bit of control over the library downstairs, putting that Claymore down to control the rotations and making sure that if anything they'll be able to pick that one out. Smacker as well with the same positioning does see, oh, did he see the foot? No, he sees him now, throws a couple of shots, takes quite a lot of damage, and Twent is going to be successful in this little duel for now. For now. Has 2 shock wires in his back pocket, saving them for the right time for a little trick. It does look like I said, a similar strategy and that same methodical play. So Sek will use most likely those X-Kairos to bait out the bandit shock wires, the impact tricks, especially without already establishing shotgun and line of sight upstairs. I'm surprised they didn't get that done earlier, but now with an easy breach over by the back side of the bar, there goes a lot of cover over by the A side, over by the games room. And that's giving up a lot for Sleeper Gaming, and that's a huge loss. Now that they've lost half their site control and they've got to play around small rotations and halls, Sleeper Gaming do pick up a nice kill into Smacker, so a little bit of an oversight from Voltic, and I'm not too sure if anyone's covering Sex back just yet, but it does look like President will be trying to control that same angle we saw last round. Ooh. And Molosca over by picking up a nice kill into Sec. Like I said, was anyone covering his backside at all? Ghoul picking up a nice death by Molosca. Molosca with a nice kill onto Ghoul. Does push through. BB with a little bit of smoke and a little bit of help from the smoke from President. Will be able to gain a little bit of line of sight. Takes a lot of damage. FX sprinting right through the office. Now thinking about a plant right behind the bar. Covers his backside but does get taken down. The smoke will kill him. It does look like President has that control just now. BB throws a couple of pre-fire shots. Has that angle controlled. And oh, the decent headshot right over Cloud. He does pull out the PMM, but he's not successful. Defenders win round 8 with a shotgun. President. Shotgun winning. Man, look at that. Fantastic, fantastic control by Sleeper. President really establishing that top-down control. That dominant position, really micromanaging his angles quite well, and the rest of Sleeper Gaming feeding him information, giving him the right calls. That's teamwork right there to bring in that win. Any other time without that coordination or that teamwork, Sleeper Gaming would have been done for. But that's what we expect here at the Challenger League at Let's Play Live. All these teams, of course, you've seen them, have qualified for some big league games over what the 6 Masters. So don't sleep on these guys just yet. They're good as anyone here in the ANZ region, and we're seeing some high-level matchup, if anything. Voltic Esports now having to attack Trophy, and Sleeper going to Trophy for the first time. I'm really interested how they're going to defend this, because like I said, I thought Voltic didn't defend it too well, and it could have done a little bit. They could have had a little bit more presence upstairs, but maybe that was part of their plan all along. We'll have to see how Sleeper decide to go about this, but it does look like how they will go about this is establishing control over by the office, Aviator, and Games. So a similar play come out for a different site on the other side of the map. Southern Control to secure the north. Regional dominance, as it seems, for Sleeper Gaming, and I'm interested to see how Voltic really tackle this. And the G8A2 come out for Smacker on for the IQ. That is a very slow ADS time, and that's a first. I mean, I guess they want 2 LMGs. I'm assuming BB's got the no. Okay, he switched to Para. That's a bit of a switcheroo there for me, but Para's a great gun. It's pretty much the LMG with the faster reload. But is it the right choice? You would have thought that Commando was a good switcheroo, but maybe it's just player preference that we're talking about here. President trying to hold a medium to long angle with the SMG-11. Good luck with that, my friend. But the best he can do right now is Sick. Tries to get a Seek Breach over by the master bedroom. While Snagger does just IQ things downstairs, clearing and gaining a couple of points. Points are important, guys. So that you're doing your job. No, don't ever play like that. Don't ever play by guns. Ignore it. Impact tricks will go out, and the quick successful replace of X Kairos does go through. NXS is successful. Wow, what a tongue twister for me. And as they push through, they will be able to get a couple of pings and the exothermic right on that wall. The angle is now available for the defenders as well. The Yokai drone does knock him down. They're not too sure where it is just yet. Did reposition quite well. Apex trying to find it, not having the best of luck just yet. Oh, there we go. Sneaky. Oh, and he lost it. He's trying to wait for it to rotate, but it doesn't look like it's going to anytime soon. Oh, picking up one for himself as well, dropping through the hatch. Smacker picks it up without too much help. But maybe just a little bit of coordination. Now with a bit of a visor and a super interesting kill hole. They will be able to establish quite strong dominance over Master Bedroom and Statue. How will Sleeper GG tackle this? Now they're on the complete backside of this, and it's a 5v5 with the diffuser going down with 30 seconds left on the clock. It's crazy, but Sleeper GG are falling at the seams. Two members fall almost simultaneously, while Cloud just drops super low. One kill came out for Voltic, but it does look like the defense will be able to stop the plant just now and have to reposition for another plant. BB now on the plant by the statue, and two members of Sleeper, the last two defenders, proning their way into a bit of a sneak attack. Aphex holding an angle, but Smacker and Ghoul close that one out. Voltic Esports win round 9 and 1 round closer to pulling out a win. Man. And that's where we see a lot of the action come down for Voltic Esports and a lot of these Challenger League teams and any pro team the last 30 seconds. Because it forces a team to play outside their comfort zone. Especially if you're the one planting, you're dictating the pace. And you're choosing that you're going to force the enemy team to react in a panic state. In a pace you're not expecting to play. That's exactly why those 30 seconds are so valuable. But 30 seconds can seem like an infinity, like an eternity. So how will they close this out? Voltic Esports now on match point 6-3 against Sleeper Gaming. Whew. I don't know about you guys, but this has been quite the matchup for me. 6-3. Voltic's debut game as a new organization, not in the league itself, because they have been playing as Apex and they have been very successful. With a 2-1 scoreline, close to a 3-1 lineup right now. How will they play against Sleeper GG? And can Sleeper salvage this? It's a bit of an uphill climb right now. I'm not gonna lie. They have the ability to. We've seen them pull off some crazy things and some high-level plays. I have full confidence that they can. However, I feel like Voltic are playing them and putting them through their paces in a way that Sleeper have not had to deal with just yet. It's not that big of a scoreline. They're not getting completely dunked on. But this is not easy to recover from. It's recoverable. They can. But what are they going to do to bring it in? What can they change to make this a little bit more into their favor? For me, I think some downstairs control would be great. I don't see any roamers downstairs. It's complete top-down control. Upstairs control, but no vertical play from the defenders at all. The EMP grenade will go out, but so will the bandit wire. Shock wire will go out and simultaneously will deny both hard breaches. Fantastic coming out from President. More hard breach going down simultaneously. Will he be able to juggle this at all? He denies one, but will have to sacrifice for the other. One evil over the other. The Texan Dynamite being denied is the better choice at this point, as it is the one that will provide more cover and more of a line of sight and easier to sort of enter to. The Habana X Kairos breaches are up. I mean, sure, it's a good breach, but they're gonna have to vault through that. Maybe they can crawl through. Maybe they can crouch through it. I'm not too sure, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how they play out, because the EMPs are going out and they're still not sure of how they're gonna attack. One down on each side, with Smacker off the board. Ooh, Ghoul with a nice kill on the President. The ACOG winning the duel over there, and Sek gonna get that push through. That does lose that diffuser over down by the statue. They have to pick that one up. Ghoul picks that up. Josh re-heals himself. He is able to play a little bit more aggressively, but the asphyxiating bolt will deny a lot of entry. The flashbangs as well will deny a lot of... Ooh, with a nice flick from Aphex. Will just miss that kill by himself. Ghoul picks up a nice kill with Josh as well. And a nice double onto Cloud. 3 kills to him so far, but Voltic Esports close that out on round 10. with a nice kill and a nice frag. Capital. Over by the bathtub. Interesting choice of defense. An angle, but Voltic Esports win round 10. Defense and attack. Over by Villa. Over by Sleeper GG. Fantastic game by both teams. Really, really heated, if anything. But now moving on to the next matchup so far. Later on tonight, we will be seeing Extricity versus Exto. So both these teams we haven't seen on screen just yet, and I am excited to see what happens because I don't know how they play, and I don't know how their strategies and their communication work. And will Exto be able to bring this? It's a bit of an uphill battle for Exto, don't get me wrong. They've only got 1 win and 2 losses, but Extricity are currently 3-0. Mind you, 1 win is a bye, but they haven't lost anything so far. So, will they be able to bring this in or not? We'll have to see coming into the next matchup. Stay tuned. We will be back soon after this short break. My name's Lan, and I'll catch you guys soon. Hold up. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Lan, and we are here again for the second half of Day 8's Let's Play Live Challenger League series for Rainbow Six. And we've got a pretty interesting matchup. If you didn't know already, and if you just joined us here tonight, we just saw Sleeper Gaming take on Voltic Esports over by Villa, and Voltic Esports took out a 7-3 win. Very convincing, and a very close matchup from both teams regardless of the score. So we saw that. It was crazy, but we have a crazier matchup tonight just because we are seeing Extricity and Exto come play together on screen for the first time here for the Challenger League series in general. So we're seeing these two teams, and I mean, Extricity are one of them. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm a fan of Extricity. They are my favorites for this matchup here. Exto have a bit of an uphill climb coming through. They are 1 win, 2 losses at the moment on the scoreline. So we'll see how that goes, because Extricity, even though they have 1 win, which is a by default, it does look like Extricity with a 3-win lead and a very good history in the scene are the matchup favorites. So we're looking at them come through, and hopefully we see that really shine as we go through. So I'm not too sure how Extricity play, and both teams are a bit of a gamble for me. Although Extricity have been on for a very long time, like I said before, but they are arguably one of the best under 18 teams in the region, if any at all. So looking forward to how they perform tonight here. We're just waiting for some of the players to get into the lobbies while we get through. But we will be going to Border. And Border is one of those maps where there aren't too many ways to be creative, and there's still a lot of room to be creative, and a lot of different methods of setup have been used for, let's say, a lot of American teams like Team Reciprocity. We see them in the corner with 2 mirrors up by the 90 corner just by CC and Break Room, and that was really different. That threw Evil Genius's rule off. We're looking at maybe something a little bit different like that. We've seen some people actually reinforce the fountain walls over by the main stairs time and time again, but then recently we've been seeing that actual rotation being used to go between CCTV and the room and the fountain as well. Sorry, I'm being hailed by the admins. But it is a map that we do see big giants come in and die. So moving on to the game, we are looking at quite a spicy matchup, as X2 R6 are the first ones to ban, and they are the first to defend. Considering that defenders have a higher likelihood of actually winning and have the actual advantage over attackers on most maps, this might be the best choice for Exto coming into this matchup. Thatcher being taken off the board first, not too surprised. However, I feel like Exto removing that really want to force Extricity to play into more gunfights and really play into their meta, their strategies, their setups. But will they? Will they be able to do it? Because they don't need Thatchers to remove Bandit shock wires or Attila Electro Claws. Glass being taken off the board as well, not too surprised. And kind of predicted it, if anything. Long angles on this map can be the death of you and can be the end. Mute being taken out is an interesting pick. We don't see Mute getting banned quite often, but certainly something to write in my notes right now. So Exto's final ban will be Mirror, and that's pretty standard, being taken out the board. We won't be seeing the strategy from Reciprocity come out this time around, but I'm hopeful for next time. So, yet again, we are here on Border between Extricity and Exto R6. My name's Lan. I'm your host, your commentator, and your only commentator, if anything. We're also observed by Joseph Cooper himself, has been observing all our games so far. And does look like an interesting pick from the defending team. Actually going with both French operators, Doc and Rook, being picked up here. They really want them MP5 ACOGs, man. So Rook, I don't think brings too much utility to their team. He's, if anything, just a fragger at this point. He's a thick boy, soaks up a lot of damage, has a great ACOG, has a great gun, great stability. That's all he's there for right now, I suppose, because let's face it, the armor doesn't actually provide you too much actual protection. It stops the first couple of bullets, but as soon as you're down, it doesn't actually doesn't do much for you, because any good fragger would just pick that kill up anyway. Maybe I mean there's still a possibility that you actually survive, your friend picks you up, your teammates actually save you there, but the likelihood of that happening is very low. We're going for a spawn peek. We haven't seen these come out very much at all. Does look like Kook. We'll go with Kook. Kook will be looking through, and he's holding it. He's waiting, and I don't think anything's gonna turn out from that. So, Shabs, not Ghoul, will be here over by the. Be joining out the break room. But Arlo is downstairs joining out as well. So I mean, hopefully we see these teams come up with something interesting. I'm not too sure what they're going for right now, but it does look like a basic breach over by the armory wall. Break in CCTV control seems paramount, and if anything is paramount on most maps. Peak comes out through, misses the shot. Tigers has to back out, and mind you guys, if you guys didn't keep up with the news, he had announced that he would be retiring and dropping out of the roster, but he's decided to come back because, let's face it, you just can't leave us. He loves it a bit too much, fam. So moving on through as well, they are securing CCTV control. Shabs does get down, does get picked up, but as of like Digital picks up a nice kill on the batters. So Digital and Tigers being on the board, so the dynamic duo, the brothers that have been there for quite a long time, not really brothers, but brothers in arms, will be still playing here for Extricity. Doc is being forced to take that long angle, and they might be trying to pick up a nice wallbang on him, but doesn't look like any shots will be connecting anytime soon. Geo still rotating downstairs, putting down a couple of shots that will be picked up by Nate. The MP5, the Doc still having 3 syringes, but it doesn't matter. Coke eliminates him from the game from this particular round. Get out of here, buddy, and he will dangle on through in a 2v3 situation for Extricity. They were doing so well, but right now in a little bit of a player deficit, have to play to Exto's pace? Strategy? I've lost the word I'm looking for. I'm sorry. But it's not unwinnable. Arlo's very low though, so he's got to get a pretty free kill at this point. But I'm not too sure if Exo are gonna be giving it to him. The smoke is still up. He will die almost immediately to that. You're seeing him almost take a little bit of damage from that as well. Frag grenades are cooking. Might be able to pick something up just yet. Oh, he picks up a nice kill into Jazz. He gets taken out before he gets to pop off the toxic vape. ADS canceled the frag out. He's out of that as well. Both team members are pushing up through. He picks up another kill as well, and oh my gosh! Arlo on a sliver of health, saving it up for the rest of his team, and geez Louise, do we look at some very, very interesting shots. Fantastic game from Arlo. Clutching out for his team with lightning fast reflexes. Does look like Extricity pick up the first round. Exo actually almost took that one out. Not gonna lie. They were in that advantage. They had numbers. They had everything down to it, but timing and timing again will win it out for them. Arlo knowing exactly when to execute that plan. So Joss had the right idea. Put down smokes, layered on one over the other, but he was maybe a little bit too late on popping the second toxic vape. They're going for the same spot, not changing it too much this time. They can't afford to switch it up too often and give up too many of their strats and maybe reveal too much about themselves. It's the first time these two teams are facing off against one another. So they're going to go for the same strat, maybe just adjust a couple of things and change up their tempo and their positioning. Maybe invest a little bit more in CCTV. Nate did hold it down for quite a long time, but he didn't get to use any of his syringes or any of the overhealing, and unfortunately did not unlock Super Saiyan 2. Or 1 for that. What was interesting though was that Extricity didn't actually put down, Exto Gaming, Exto R6 didn't put down any defense or too much emphasis over by the southeast stairs. Shabs really does not want to board that helicopter. We'll be able to we'll be shooting out those the speakers there. Not interested in any news broadcast anytime soon. Arlo taking out the cameras. We'll be able to check his T's, got his eyes. While Geo goes for a nice rotate over by what looks to be the vent. So as he moves over, puts down a couple of nomads out, a couple of air jabs, covers the rotations, just making sure that his team's covered on all sides where they need to be. Does look like they will be able to get quick and easy control over south stairs, but Digital with a very obvious but maybe a 400 IQ Claymore might be able to catch the team off guard. Takes a little bit of damage but trades a little bit back in. Exo don't take any damage this time around themselves, but does look like an easy push right up to the wall. Not much contesting over by CCTV at all. With no bandit tricking or no entry denial at all, they will get that. Oh no, Digital, buddy, what is that? A little bit trigger happy with him. Shabs gets the job done, but does take a little bit too much damage, or any at all, really. Losing his life there to a little bit of a team kill, a little bit of an oopsie. And now Extricity are on the back end. I mean, they got the breach off. That's exactly what he needed to do. So his utility has been used, and that's what they needed. But they're down one gun, and now they are again at a disadvantage. Exo are all the while happy and quite well up in that position as well. Arlo by the sandwich dangle might be able to get this frag just off right now. Cooks it, angles it. Will he be able to pick up anything at all? No, not this time around. There's no ADS to stop it though. Different angle, different kill. No, not this time. He does reverse the dangle and has a very interesting angle over by the metal detectors. Geo with a very real tap. Repositions and tries to hold that angle while the plant goes down. Tiger's pushing that out himself, and Geo losing that duel over to batters. Plant is successful, but doesn't look like EXG will be able to push up and get it too well. They know exactly where he is, but Doc just manages to leave with half of his health. Tiger's not able to deny it just yet, and Arlo is trying to deny right from the sandwich. Tigers picks up a kill into batters, but Brigba right over to Tigers himself. Arlo with the shotgun kill, and does look like he will be in a duel versus Nate. Does look like he loses out with the melee. Trying to get that barricade open, and the attackers win. Round 2. Extricity yet again with another win. Whew. Man, this is doing a bit of a work on my lungs here. Windpipes are getting a bit of a workout. But hey, we're enjoying our time here, aren't we, guys? So, they're still sticking to the site. You're sticking to armories and archives, and you know what? That's cool. You can do that. But change up the strats. They had bandit, they didn't deny it. They didn't trick it, they didn't defend that wall too well. Will they do it this time or not? They probably just misallocated their defenses, and they're thinking, you know what? Look at this. Let me just put it here. But yeah, that's not usually what happens. Unfortunately, they did try to deny it the other way around, but it didn't really work out for them, did it? So, looking forward to this next round here. It does look like a bit more emphasis on the fountain being completely walled off and the offices. Hatches being reinforced as well. I don't really think that's necessary. It looks like a little bit of a waste of utility and reinforcement, if anything. Nate's gonna go down, go for a bit of a spawn peek. Holding a bit of a shifty angle himself, trying not to reveal too much of his body. Holding a spawn peek again. Looks like he picks someone up, but doesn't actually quite get any or connect with anything just yet. So Shabs is doing the same thing. They're going for the same thing, pushing through CCTV, and I'm not too surprised with that. Extricity don't have to change up anything they're doing right now, because all they have to really do is rinse and repeat what they have been doing so far. Take control of CCTV, open up the armory wall, push in and lock it down. But Exto are the ones that need to switch it up. Because Extricity are going to do the same thing over and over again till they get proven wrong. Till they get stopped, till Exto win a round on Armory. But hopefully they adjust. Hopefully they can adjust and be fluid mid-game, because that's really what it's about. Not too sure if anyone remembers, but last time, long time ago in a galaxy far away, we did see the tournament formats were that the attackers and defenders did swap around like it does in ranked. But now that defenders get a couple of rounds on that defense before they swap over, it does allow the defenders to readjust and reacclimate to enemy team strategy. Shabs will live this time around, and it does look like he will get that breach open. Pushes right on through, and it does look like a couple of drones get denied, but it does look like another easy plant coming through. Kook does pick up kill for himself, and Tigers goes down. There goes their planter, there goes their Twitch. And maybe even a Claymore. Didn't get to see just yet, but Geo will be doing a little bit of joining along with the Capital as they try to make sure that their flank is nice and secure before they try to get that plant. Last thing they want is a late flank coming up from the enemy that would actually put a big thorn in their side and actually deny a lot of that accessibility.
Standing. Station. Spotted!
Pushing on up. Shabs and Geo.
Loading door.
Little denial there. Does the reverse plant over by the door. Doesn't want to plant just by the small office just yet. Echo drone comes out, but Arlo picks up a fantastic call onto Rigba, hiding in the corner by the main entrance. Does look like Digital will be able to hold, probably try to find an Echo drone. Shabs keeps getting echoed out, and the Sonic Burst is denying that plant just yet. So they've got 22 seconds left and not a lot of time. Arlo is trying to find one out. Will he be able to get the kill or not? No, he gets traded out. He gets taken down, but attackers win round 3 as Shabs and Digital come in for the crossfire refrag, pushing up from the armory wall. But was that a fantastic push by Extricity? And great crossfiring? Or did Exto get a bit antsy there? I think Exto got a bit antsy there. They didn't have to push that armory wall again after they took down Arlo. Surely, yes, they need to switch their attention. And the cut through angle from the small office over through the telewindows, over to the metal detector did provide a lot of information, a lot of line of sight, and made that rotation hard for Exto. But the wide peak like that, getting a bit anxious, panicking maybe. But we're not sure. We're not there. We kind of assume these players don't know what they're doing. They're here in the Challenger League for a reason. You gotta give them credit for what they're doing. Kook, now that Maestro will be placing his camera right on site, providing a little bit more line of sight and quite a few rotations as well. It does look like he will be opening it up with the Bailiff. And establishing top-down control over by the Armory as well is a pretty big deal. So looking at these teams here, does look like Exto are going for quite a wide setup. Actually trying to establish control over by the bathroom tellers and the customs looks like an interesting choice. A good choice, but an interesting choice, if anything. Double surveillance being put down in the workshop ventilation room. I don't think it's overkill. I personally like to have a little bit of surveillance, a little bit of information. Some cameras on site as well. Not completely necessary, but does help and does serve its purpose. Tiger's trying to get the east stairs controlled over and does push through. CCTV does look like it's clear and free, but Geo is trying to pick out any unusual activity with electronics at all. If it runs on batteries, she'll see it, but not this time around, as maybe Tigers and the rest of them have already established quite strong control upstairs. A couple of players are in the armory, and they might be pushing through that. They have top-down control, but we're not too sure where they're going for just yet. I'd bank in they're going to try to push in through the offices. but it does look like a lot of information being passed on. Rigba picks up a nice 2 kills on Xtricity. Doesn't look good so far. It might be the first round Xto actually take one out. Ooh, there we go. Tigers and Shabs pick up a nice double kill. 2 kills back to back over by Jazz and Nate. Soft wall gets breached open, and I feel like they are going to peek it. Will he have the discipline not to or not is another question. But it does look like with a lot of angles in the side already, Tigers will pick up another kill to Rigba quite simply and quite effortless. Wide peek from Kook will pick up a nice kill into Tigers, but will he be able to get that second over or not? I'm not too sure. But Batters picks up Digital for himself by Shabs. Pushes in all by himself. He has the diffuser, picks up a nice kill onto Kook, sees his foot in the corner, and he will be going for a plant. Batters is all by himself, pushing through the bathroom as well. Might be able to get the flank and might be able to catch him on that rotation, but no, he pushes through the front door. He walks up the staircase, and he's now going to try to get that top-down control over by the hatch. Will Batters be able to predict this? Yes, he's actually rotated through. They've seen this on the cameras. The Maestro cam is by the main stairs, and he's walking up. He peeks it. He moves back. He knows exactly where it is. He goes for the gunfight. He loses it out. He doesn't lose his life, but oh, he gets the wall bang! Oh my gosh, Batters with the fantastic prediction on a sliver of his own health. Amazing play by Batters. Xto pick up their first round on round 4 with a very nice flank. Very great wall bang and a nice defuse. Counter defuse. Unexpected and taking me by surprise for sure. Whew. Buddy. Oh. That was crazy. I'm just catching my breath right now, and it's a bit of a mission, but hey, you know what? I'm surprised. Xto, I thought they were just falling at the seams there. Xtricity had the positioning, they had the breaches, they had the rotations cut, but they just couldn't find Batters. And Batters just came out like a bat out of hell. Just rotated from the back, got some nice frags, used their own rotations to his advantage, and then he just followed him all the way upstairs. He knew he couldn't get that counter diffuse down without taking out the last member of Xtricity. He got it. Hey, he got it. But now moving back up to Armory, will they change things up or not? I really hope so, because if they... Oh, they're going for that same plant over by the heavens. Why? Is there something I'm not getting? Like, I'm not a pro league player. I'm not these guys. I don't see these guys. I don't know their strategies, but I think that hat could be left soft. Seems like a bit of a waste. But hey, maybe it's just to their own advantage. Barbed wire does go down and does look like they will be establishing quite a lot of control, going for a wide set control like the last round, spreading out a little bit more, trying to waste more time for Xtricity and force them to play in the last few seconds. We do see attacking teams, like I said before, force the last 30 seconds to be the action phase, to be the clutch phase for the defending teams, and that normally catches them off by surprise. But when the defenders force the attackers to run out of time, dwindle their forces down, their numbers down to the last few, and then come in with a really haphazard, poorly timed plan. Ooh, Digital almost losing his head there. But, and when they force them to do that, it normally doesn't work out for the attackers so well, because they'd be overrun, they'd be off in a bad position. Arlo trying to take control of the tellers. It does look like he will have it available to him with little contesting. But Office upstairs with a lot of control and a lot of defense and a lot of investment, if anything. Shock wires are down there. Oh my gosh, Geo. Boy sees his hips, sees the head as he drops down. Batters gets taken out by Geo. A little bit of an oversight, not checking his corners. Claymores go down, and all players are quite happy that Claymores and shields are available. Nate with a nice double kill over by Geo and Arlo. Does look like Xtricity are back in another pinch with Soft Breacher and the intel being taken off the board. Tigers is now forced to cover that flank while the other two members of the team try to breach in through the offices and try to get that plant down. Now actually changing their objective and the site in which they want to get a breach and plant in is working against them, as they maybe have predicted that Exto were going to shift their defenses over by the armory, and then they would actually go over to... Oh no, Shabs. Okay. Kook gets taken out there, but it does look like Digital with a nice crossfire will be able to hold off anyone in the fountain. One goes down, he gets the second. There we go. And Shabs might be able to get picked up here. So, 2 to 3, still not a decisive win for Extricity just yet. C4 does get prepped and he's waiting for the right time. Nate is downstairs and just does have a lot of surveillance as he tries to bring it over. Will he be able to bring it over and time that pre-prepped C4? Something that we don't see much or any at all. Nate's holding an angle. The diffuser goes down. C4 doesn't pick anything up, but the Yokai does deny it. And there we go. Defenders win round 5 by delaying time. Echo and Valkyrie providing so much strength. And that's why they've banned Valkyrie time and time again. Surprised they didn't ban Echo on a map like Border or any map at all. But the shift in predictions has most likely led up to this point, and that win for Exto. Now bringing it into a closer lineup, it does seem that Exto are plowing through and doing their darnest on this uphill battle in an underdog story against Extricity. A team that we've seen dominate. Not only in this league, but any other league as well. We've seen them do very well. And they're not a team without faults, but they are a team that has been in the spotlight for quite some time. Bit banter in the all chat there. Does look like teams are in good spirits, and that's what we like to see. But now, moving over to customs inspections and jail and the supply room. This is a site that we haven't seen just yet, and I'm interested to see how Exto really play this. So, top-down control is paramount. 2 hatches upstairs are not to be taken lightly. That's a lot of line of sight, and especially with Arlo still on that buck, it can be detrimental. His Canadian comrade Frost is along as well, and I mean, oh no, Nate with that. Oh, that was dirty. Spawn kill. Spawn peak with double kill already. Extricity being taken out off the board. 2 members, almost a third. Digital fighting for his life right now in a little bit of a duel. Has to relocate and reassess his choices. So Exto now really just pulling out all the stops. They've decided, you know what? We're not gonna play passive anymore. We're gonna really push for this. A run out upstairs, unsuccessful, but Shabs picks up a nice kill onto Nate, refragging for his team and bringing it in for another kill. But Geo gets taken out, and oh my gosh, Extricity just falling up at the seams, not even able to bring it into the site at all. Batters really turning out bad. And you know what? Shabs is all by himself. A little bit more banter, a little bit more banter between the two. And you know what? Yeah, the outside is a bit vibrant. I don't think the greenery is too great on Border, but you know, hey, it's good to get outdoors once in a while, right, guys? So how will he do this? It's a 1v4. He's all by himself. He sees one. He doesn't quite get it. He re-peeks the angle. It does look like Jazz is trying to go for a quick peek. Doesn't quite turn out to his advantage just yet. And he takes a little bit too much damage as he relocates over right to ventilation. He's cornered. He's in a bit of a pickle, and he's trying to, I'm losing my words. But he's trying to relocate. He's trying to quick peek all these angles, and he's got to just find another spot, another angle. He has a minute. He has all these opportunities to find another way in, but Batters with a quick run out outside doesn't quite get it. Shabs rotates outside, sees that he's outside, and defenders win round 6. Unfortunately, unable to react to it and play against it. Exto win the run-out game. Entry denial. Excuse me, I lost all my words there, and I just muttered all of that in the clutchest of moments. I got a little bit too excited. Forgive me. But how nuts was that? They didn't even get in the building. A complete contrasting performance coming out from Exto R6, and Extricity being completely denied coming close to the building at all. So, I mean, it's run out city. The claymores are still available, but you're not even getting the chance to get these claymores down. Surely Extricity are going to be far more cautious moving up into this next round. 3-3 now. And man, I can only hope that the match stays this tight as we keep going. And we know they're pulling all the stops when they bring out the Rook. A little bit extra safety and bringing in that ACOG, sacrificing that utility on defense. But they want that spawn peek. They want that long angle. Look at their defense. They've got 2 ACOGs. That's okay. That's a good amount of ACOGs. Could have more, could have less, but 2 ACOG control for a map like Border, where there are some long angles and there are some medium length. There are a lot of medium length angles and there aren't many short. Then there are also a lot of short angles. Excuse me, but I mean, jeez. Shabs will be putting down that evil eye over by the armory wall. Does look like Jazz is going to be bringing in that Montagne. An operator we don't see too much here in the Challenger League, if at all. But Nomad has been seeing a heck of a ton of play. The MK7 CQB with the muzzle brake will be played and brought over by the ventilation vents upstairs. And an inverted dangle by Batters will be trying to pick up a couple of... Oh, a very nice wall bang. A little bit of line of sight. And Batters over to Electricity, and there goes Maestro. So that's a lot of utility being taken out. I mean, the cameras are still around, and you're still able to use the cameras, but that's their ACOG, that's their LMG. That's a big loss. 3 flashbangs will be coming out from Nate as he tries to control this wall. There's this window here, and a lot of barbed wires stopping Jas from trying to get anything going, along with a line of sight, and oh my gosh, Tigers punches him for trying to take it out at all. Long angle over from the armory wall. Does look like he is trying to control this quite aggressively, with half the wall of the armory open, overlooking the balcony of CCTV. Kook is inverted and he's trying to take control of it as well, but Batters is not letting that happen at all. Nate trying to duel it out. 4-3 situation. Arlo is taking a little bit more damage than he should. He rotates all over and he gets taken out. Kook picks him up as well. It does look like one more by the window. I'm not too sure what they're doing, but they're throwing bodies at them, man. C4 comes up from Digital. Nate gets picked up, so the ventilation window is a little bit safer, but he picks up a second kill onto Rigba. Fantastic macro management coming from him, controlling as many angles and as many sites as possible. Digital, one of the more veteran players of Electricity, trying to hold it down along with Geo over by Archives. LMG is pushing up and he's pushing up as well, so they might be able to get this timing right. And oh no, the LMG wins it out this time. The Gumai gets popped off, but Geo will be able to just pull that out in a 1v1 situation. He's a bit low. He's got to get rid of that those barbed wires, but he's going to try to stick that plant. No C4 this time. He's going to have to push that fight. He's baiting it out a little bit. Shoots it out. He sees it through the bomb, but he loses the duel. Batters getting taken up by Digital, using that bomb as a little bit of cover, dueling it out and switching over. Close matchup. Coming down to a 1-to-1 situation. I thought Exto were really fighting for it. And you know what they did? They did fight for it. But in the end, it's Extricity and Exto just actually this close in skill. And we've seen this all the way through our league, fam. We've seen Sleeper Gaming, and we've seen Apex pull up crazy upsets. We've seen some of these teams that we've never seen before come through, win games, take out teams that have been in Pro League for a long time, like Fury and X-Avant, in the craziest upsets. But this time, Extricity and Exto being neck to neck, this just proves to me that everyone in this Challenger League series deserve to be here and deserve to be competing with each other, if anything. And if right now, if anyone actually stands a chance at giving Extricity their first loss, it might just be Exto R6. So, will they be able to pull it off? So, Extricity going up for the same site on the for a defense to defend workshop and ventilation downstairs. Nice. Vertical control is paramount. And we didn't see much of that come up for many other teams today. But it does look like they will be trying to emphasize that a little bit more with a very widespread defense. So now that we are seeing Extricity on defense, it's a bit different from how Exto have played. But Exto are not wasting time with that attack either. So pushing up through and getting a couple of pre-fire shots down. Not only just testing out the waters, but already throwing out the asphyxiating bolts and trying to establish control top down. So now that they've seen a couple of shots come out from the armory upstairs, it's all the more certain that they have to establish that top down control, and they're gonna need Jazz to really flush them out. Rigba might be able to do something about that with the air jabs, but I'm not too sure if they will be able to be successful in getting this. Hopefully they don't try to actually duel their way through and actually try to get into that site, but it does look like Batters and Rigba are down to half health. Digital's off the board, but that's alright because the rest of Extricity are full. Nate is being taken out, and that's a Fuse being taken off the board. Not too sure if he had a shield or if he had the AK, but nonetheless, that's a lot of destruction for utility being removed. So Fuse is an operator that we don't see a lot of playtime with. For the ANZ region. Oh no. Jazz with a very easy push all the way through into the ventilation and the workshop. They get that smoke down, they get that plant down, and through line of sight, through one wall to the next. It does look like Extricity are stuck upstairs while Rigba starts flashing them and starts cutting their line of sight. Starts cutting them off. Their rotations are really being controlled at this point. Coop picks up a nice kill. The Geo and Shabs is rotating all the way down. He's all by himself in a 1v4 situation. Mind you, Exto are all half health, but he doesn't have many rotations left for him, and he's gonna have to fight his way through it. He's half health as well, and a lot of the members of Exto R6 are outside trying to defend it. 3 members now. 1 member is down, and he does see defeat. He misses the kill. He gets it finally, but he finally has to duel them out. 1 more down. Throws a couple of shots out. Doesn't manage to connect just yet, but the air jab gets it. He might be taken out here. Yes, the knife from Batters takes it out, closes out the round, and Exto win round 8, bringing the scoreline even again. Oh, man. This is wild, guys, because you know what? I didn't expect this at all. Extricity were the favorite, but you know what? Exto might be the ones to give them their first loss. Oh man. We're also seeing Ash being brought in here, and a Pulse. That's the first time. Oh, no, no. Okay. Okay, Geo. Okay, Geo, you do you. You do you, boo-boo. But Pulse will be brought in, and that's a lot of vertical control, especially for a site like Tellers, a site we don't see played much of at all. A site that really requires a lot of external policing. So they gotta control the outside, the external part of that Teller section, because it can be quite easy to park up and just plant behind that vending machine. But surely they have a strategy for this. Surely they can get the line of sight through from the upstairs. A couple of pot shots and shotgun holes. maybe a couple of impact rotations as well, we will be able to get this through, but they really need to secure the upstairs fountain office archive area. If they don't, it's gonna be really hard for Extricity to get this going. Legion coming into the mix is not bad. It's pretty good. A lot of information. Extricity probably need that quite a bit right now, but nothing too surprising coming from Exto. They are going for that very hard breach though. We're looking at it right now. I mean, that breaching charge, just slither coming right through. It does look like they are pushing up. A lot of pings coming out, and Nate's already in sight, trying to control those long lines and long angles. The R4C in the hollow. The G36 is great, but the R4C is better for a map like Border, where some of these angles are quite medium range. All members of Exto are up at the front. No one kind of flanking in right now, but they are trying to bring in that western side dominance. Air jabs going through.
Stun grenade.
Along with the flashbangs, trying to control Workshop. They are pushing quite fast and quite dominantly. Gonna probably melee that barricade open, but Nate picks up a nice kill into Arlo. Extricity lose their Legion, and that's a little bit of utility. He's put down a couple of glue mines, and yes, we see them here. But the glue mines come in at intervals, and if he doesn't get the rest of them out, that's a bit of a waste. Nate gets taken out already, and Kook has to really mine the hatch upstairs. A little bit of an oversight, trying to push through quite fast. Does look like Kook picks up another kill into Shabs, and Rigba is cornered in the bathroom. Sees one through the flooring, but does look like Digital picks up a nice kill, and it does look like Exto's attack are falling apart. He gets taken out there from the top down as well in the bathroom cubicle, and one more from the top down. It does look like they just kind of gave that all up, throwing bodies through the same kill holes, through the same line of sight. A bit of an easy defense from Extricity. Exto really rushing and losing their track there. They had the time. They could have pulled back a little bit. Really tried to clear up upstairs. I would imagine Nate would have gone upstairs with the Ash and breached open those castle barricades, but apparently not. A bit rushed. They didn't have to plant in the bathroom. They could have planted over by the vending machine. I mean, if they did a little bit of droning, they would have noticed it was free. Surely they had top-down control as well, but maybe lacked a little bit of information. Not the best call coming out from Exto there, but they are still in the game, and it's not match point just yet. Round 10 of the LPL Challenger League here for the final matchup of the day. Extricity versus Exto looks like quite the heated matchup, to be sure. And for the first time tonight, we're seeing a rotation between Fountain, the Hall, and CCTV. We don't see this very often, but it has been coming to light, and it has been used quite often recently for a lot of pro teams and a lot of Challenger League teams. A high-level play. What it does is it just allows a rotation between the two sides, cuts off a lot of the long walking through the CCTV, through break room, through the hall, and then all the way through the offices. Kook picks up an easy kill on the oh my gosh, how did that happen? But Rigba and Co and Exto are going to be moving through. And without their Maestro in the start, that's a big yikes. 6th time right now, and Gio is upset. I bet he's probably gonna ask for, you know, two-shot headshots, and you know, I'm not a fan of that rule. I'm not a fan of that opinion. I think the one tap headshot is half the reason why I love this game. But here we go, Jazz pushing through the CCTV, gets double teamed. Digital onto Arlo for his own teammate, but gets Jazz. So a bit of an unexpected refrag for his own side. A bit of an unexpected trade, but we do see Extricity now at a bit of their own detriment. F's in the chat, fam. F's in the chat. But Exto still strong, still with the lead. They have the right members still alive, even though Nate just did go down. They have the heart breach. Oh no, the heart breach is gone. I spoke too soon. The diffuser goes down in CCTV as well, and Rigba and Batters have to go retrieve it and push through all by themselves. Digital is on a sliver of health, but we've seen him pull off amazing clutches with that amount of health. And you know what? Batters has all the utility left to him. He has the diffuser and he might be able to go for a plant. Rigba might be able to control it from the sandwich and be able to mitigate any rotations. I'm not too sure if they will be able to save this. The Echo drone, the Yokai is out. They have to take this out. They have to drone it out. They have to find it, take it out, or that Sonic Burst will be the end of him. And like I said, with a little bit more information, Exto's all by himself. Digital pick up that last kill onto Batters. Now, bit of a pickle. Has to go pick up the diffuser. He has a minute. He's got a lot of time, and he can still pick up a nice double for himself and the rest of Exto. It all rests on him to keep this scoreline even Stevens. Digital in the forefront. Try to control this line of sight all by himself with the MP5. The MP7. The MP7, my bad. But the ARX 200 might prove to be the better choice than the superior choice at this point in time with the ACOG and its recoil control. Especially the ACOG, if anything. But Digital being very aggressive right up front. Flashbangs go out. He knows what's happening. Rigba hasn't quite seen him just yet. More flashbangs go out and he's waiting for the right time to push up through. Timing is impeccable. The Yokai drone comes out. Sonic Burst go out and two members are pushing onto him and Digital picks up the kill for himself. Extricity pulled this matchup two rounds ahead. And now are on match point against Exto. Can Exto bring this back? I think so. But will they or not? We'll have to find out in round 11. Match point here with the closest match we've seen all night. And maybe one of the closest matches we've seen since our first day. Our second day, actually. In the Challenger League series here at Let's Play Live. In the Let's Play Live studio in the Sky Tower in Auckland City. Caveira. Tell me that's bait. I knew it. Too good to be true. Too good to be true, fam. But that's okay. Valkyrie's a fantastic pick as well. And I'm interested to see if they've got some different camera positions. But they're going through customs and supply now, and this could be the moment for them. Extricity are on defense. Yes. Correct. And they are going to be establishing a little bit of control upstairs by the armory. So they're not giving up, they're not hunkering down by CC, but they're controlling armory as best as they can. Maybe that's because they want to rotate through armory over into CC and control it from armory in a long angle. Maybe they're going to put someone with an ACOG upstairs. It could be so if Geo stays and hangs around up top. Does look like Arlo has the shotgun DMR hybrid to his disposal and he might be able to bring that around. So does look like, yes, he does have the ACOG and he's got the mag semi-auto as well, so he's got double to his advantage here. Ooh. This is interesting. We've seen that shotgun come in with some crazy angles and some crazy plays, some crazy kills, but the very external shield for potentially runouts and some aggressive droning does look like they will be able to find out what their strategy is and maybe try to get a bit more of a feel. Just upstairs as well, will be trying to defend a little bit more, but that shield that is going to be keeping him on his toes as he tries to control a little bit more. But Batters has his 6 covered and he has that angle down, no problemo. One prone behind the CCTV. Oh my gosh, Nate just barely making that kill onto Arlo, and Batters picking up Digital as well. One still behind the CCTV curved table. And Shabs is pushing right through, picking up a nice kill on the Batters. Well, Joss didn't see the Jaeger, and he finally picks up a kill after hearing him move around a little bit too much. Sorry, my English is leaving me. But Geo, still fairly healthy. I'm giving him a little bit of credit here. He has the ACOG, he has the Alda. He is upstairs. They don't know where he is just yet, but they drone they get the castle footprints. Jackal being able to find him on site, but you're not sure exactly where Geo is just yet. He finds one kill. He's got that flank going on. He's pushing through, and the rest of Exto are dropping down. Oh, Shabs with a fantastic kill over onto Nate. Brings it over into a 1-to-1 situation. Geo, oh my gosh, picking up that nice kill over to Jazz with a GG well played over, coming over to Extricity. In a tight matchup between the two. I thought it could have gone either way, but there we go. Extricity still the favorite. And the definite winner of tonight's matchup between the two. My gosh. Wow. What was that? That was crazy. That's what that was. But hey, look guys, thank you for joining us here at the Let's Play Live studio. Live, obviously, for our little matchups tonight here between Sleeper Gaming, my memory is horrible, and Voltic, formerly Apex, that's why. And recently Extricity versus Exto R6. So these two games have been crazy. I didn't expect Exto to take it in so closely, and I didn't expect Sleeper and Voltic to play the way they did. Voltic coming in with a debut game for their team. The team they've been around for 4 weeks so far, yes, but the organization is new, and congratulations to them. They're doing so well. And congratulations to Tigers for coming back into the league. So I knew you'd be back. Welcome. So thank you tonight, guys, for the amazing matchup. One more look at the leaderboard so far. Will be updated for next week, but right now, looking at the leaderboards, it does look like Sleeper Gaming will be moving down, and Voltic are securing that 3-win, 1-loss. There we go. And Exto with 1-2 will be updated soon. Fury and we've got one more, by the way, guys, that's being played off on the side. Fury versus Xavant will be played off stream, and we'll update you with the information and the results next week with how that goes. Best of luck to both teams, and we'll let you know how that goes moving forward next week on day 10. In our 5th week of the Challenger League here at the Let's Play Live studio for Rainbow Six. Thank you so much, guys. My name's Ian Landseed, and I've been joined and observed by Joseph Blaze Strike Cooper. We'll be seeing you guys next week. Cheers.